wand, the Lesh will kill the Monkey. But it can go the other way too, where Monkey, they literally just man up against each other, and then Monkey kills the Lesh. So I do worry a little for Team Liquid here. This is a statement. This is, we trust our stand-in. We trust our supports to give our stand-in a good lane, and our stand-in to proceed to have a good game from this. Like, if this game goes well for Bryle, this bodes extremely well for Liquid, not only in the series, but in the tournament.
It's trust in one regard, though, because Gunnar, you were saying that maybe a different version of trust is, Bryle, I trust you to handle this Beastmaster mid, and we're going to make Saberlight have a really good lane. So the trust is that, like you're saying, Jenkins, Leshrac, give me my last pick, I'm going to carry it from the mid.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's a good Lesh game, though. I don't think it requires that much trust. Like, it does definitely take trust to, like, win the Monkey King mid matchup, but if you do, then you're playing against 4 melee heroes. Like, Leshrac is one of the biggest anti-melee heroes in the game. Like, the damage that he does point blank to heroes like Monkey King, Sand King, Slark, PA, it's really hard to deal with in the early game.
At least it seems like things are going to be competitive as we see the odds on the stream right now, favoring Parivision. Which way you going, Gunnar? You see both the drafts.
I think Parivision. I think both teams are going to struggle in the offlane, but I kind of overall like the Phantom Assassin in this game.
Not surprised. It looks like this man on our screen, Saberlight, might have a bit of a rough game, but it's a full best of 3, and Liquid looked good in the morning series. So let's get into our last series of the night with Sunsfan and Synderen.
It's good to be king. Prepare for battle!
That's a fearsome bear here in North America, here in North Carolina, in fact. Sunsfan here with Synderen. Game number 1 of this best of 3 between Team Liquid and Parivision. This is the lower bracket, Cinderman. What are you thinking here?
So I was trying to make sense of this last pick Lesh. The panel was talking about some of the elements, and the thing that came to mind for me is that a very big part of what the Slark support has been able to do is just change the makeup of team fights through the Shard, the Depth Shroud. And Leshrac, in theory, should be the single hero in Dota that has the most AoE damage that you cannot block with Depth Shroud. So I think that might have played a role in this pick, and also it's a staple for Bryle. He's Grandmaster T on this hero. He has played it a million times. And maybe on top of that, like they talked about the matchup against Monkey King, perhaps he's comfortable with this one. It can go both ways, like Jenkins said, but at that point, you know, if you're super experienced, you've probably been in lots of different situations in that lane, and maybe you're more likely to pull out the W there instead of falling behind against no one, who is absolutely he's not a joke on Monkey King, let me tell you that.
He is definitely a beast. Kind of had a dip in his career a few years back, but he has come back with a vengeance, that is for sure. As we're going to see the Bounty Rune fight start the game, or just a walk away, in fact. But he's just going to trade them out. But yeah, it's good to see Leshrac back into the meta, as Insane is going to take a bit of right-click damage. Not sure if this is going to turn into anything, though. So he went for the Misanthropy facet on Lesh, so the Diabolic Edict will do a ton of damage, but will not damage buildings. But looking at their lineup, they still have a lot of push potential.
Yeah, and whenever you're playing against Misanthropy in the mid lane as either a slow hero or a mid hero, you need to constantly be cognizant of the creep wave. When the creep wave is about to die, that's when Lesh can really run you down. Speaking of running down, 9 class being smacked here by Insania. A little bit of reciprocation though. But yeah, this will be an interesting lane for me to watch. I think on paper this should be just flat out strictly Liquid favored, but let's see if 9 class can do a little bit of magic here with some wave manipulation. Actually kind of annoying for Insania here. It's 2 melee creeps. 9 class will also pull the next wave now, and Insania will try to connect these 2 waves and avoid what Parivision is trying to do by repositioning the lane here. And I think for the most part he's successful. It's actually taking a beating though.
Yeah, Astral Spirit comes back with a bit of damage, but you don't want to really get in a right-click battle as a melee hero against the Slark necessarily. Those essence shift stacks, we might be seeing that right here. Oh. That is just first blood, very casual for 9 class.
Yeah, Insania forgot Blood Grenade exists. Getting back to the good old days.
Oh, thank God we have a pause. This game was going on so long, we didn't have enough time for our podcast, of course, last time.
Oh, I need to take a breather. You take it from here.
For sure. Parivision versus Liquid here. What is the greatest thing that you have experienced in North Carolina so far, Synderen?
been fun to play pickleball.
Yeah, that's right. I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah, it's been fun.
That's a good, clean sport.
It's a fun sport, and you were also there.
That's true.
But yeah, the sport was great.
Good. Now we can get back to Dota, of course. That's what everybody came for.
The food has been awesome too, by the way.
It has, actually, yeah.
It's been very good. It's been some of the best catering we've ever had.
Yeah, the catering, and I mean, the restaurants around the area. The city's been really nice, actually, in Raleigh.
Very, very positive.
Can't complain, of course, other than when I'm in your presence, but that's another story entirely. So, who were you expecting to win this series just coming in without the drafts?
I think overall Parivision probably should have an edge. Just get arm for handshake. That's good. I think Parivision probably has looked at the overall strongest. Liquid series earlier today, I think they're warming up a little bit more, but to me, they're not necessarily quite there. The series against Avulus had a couple of moments where I feel like Liquid were being a little bit scrappy compared to the level when they're at their peak.
Right.
But it's by no means a series where I feel like one team is just way better. I think we're past that stage of the tournament now where you could say with confidence that a team is more than a 2-1 favorite. I don't really think there's going to be any of those series left. Yeah, which is great. It's very good when the top 6 is this close together. It means it's very exciting every single time. Yeah, and live.
And as always, we're getting to the juicy part of the tournament where the picks and bans become even more interesting, because then you have to make decisions that maybe you didn't think you'd have to make, like banning a Slark, for example, right?
Yeah,
as we can see a Shackle onto Satanic, but yeah, Saberlight taking the brunt of the damage here. We'll take another Stifling Daggers for his effort.
I'd imagine this lane becomes extremely difficult at level 3. I think you can somewhat float it a little bit as Beastmaster Windranger until that point. When you get the 2 points up in Stifle as well as the 2 point in Dual Breath, I think the overall harassment damage is just going to be way too much to deal with. But we'll see how Saberlight adjusts to this. He's queuing up Arcane Boots, so not a lane sustain item, but rather just a mana battery. Perhaps the reasoning here is that he thinks he and Boxy together, flat out by spamming, can sustain this lane with power shots and axes.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen, and it's very important when you go this route. The Arcane Boots build up, it's okay, but you know, until the complete item is there, you're already out of mana now on both heroes, so it's gonna be tough to continue spamming. Nice wave pull though. Saberlight will manage to reposition the lane a little bit.
As a Pounce will connect for 9 class against the level 1 Insania right now. It's the extra speed though with the Astral Spirit coming back. They'll give each other high fives as per norm. They've been a little bit too polite for my taste in this beginning of this series. We'll see if that continues on, since this is of course an elimination match. We got some real toxic players here, as always. Is Ducalis gonna get gone on here? Satanic actually jumps in to try to block them, but they're gonna lose their Jakiro, but the Boxy trade-off 1-for-1, position 4 for position 4.
He needs to be careful. He needs to be careful with these birds. They give it quite a lot of experience over to Satanic here, but a 1-for-1 trade. Can't say this top lane is going too bad, right? You're losing it. Gunnar was talking about it. PA, one of the absolute worst matchups for Beastmaster and lane, I think. In my book, probably one of the hardest. I would say the hardest on paper generally is considered to be Gyro, but this is definitely up there as well, and depending on the lane, it can be even worse because of the aggressive factor. You can tell that Parivision is trying to play on that as much as they can. But the lane is in this position a little bit for Saberlight. Actually, he will be pushing the other way, but where will the waves meet? Will meet relatively far up. Now they're going to go in yet again.
Yeah, they have the Blood Grenade and the Burrow Strike inside of the Sandstorm as well. And Insania is dead, 9 class, already showing why his Slark, his support Slark, mind you, is so difficult to deal with. And that is a good combo once you get them stuck inside that AoE.
It's so fascinating, isn't it? Like, that a team can have a player that plays this hero support and nobody's copying it.
Yeah.
Like, literally no other team has even tried it a single game, I think. Maybe it's been one game.
Takes a lot of damage. Gets the Jingu stacks up as Bryle's gonna have to pop the Fairy Fire just to survive here. You can see in the mid lane, 22 and 3 for Bryle right now, 21 and 4 for no one, so very even so far. In terms of, I mean, gank potential for the supports, the Windrunner already made her way over. Does Parivision have the same kind of gank potential with a Slark?
I mean, it can be cute at nighttime, I guess, if you can find an angle and get a pounce and set up no one to get his ulti off, perhaps, on level 6. I suppose there is a play there, but I don't think it's particularly likely.
Oh, they're going for this. It's going to be TP coming in. They're going to dive with the Diabolic Edict. Power shot's not going to hit. Bryle is just dead, and no one will survive through the day, which means Boxy takes a tumble, 2 for nothing. Great rotation from Parivision.
I think when that shackle shot misses, you just call off the play. That seemed like a little bit of a desperate, naive dive. Of course, there's going to be some sort of TP rotation coming in from Parivision, and they get a very, very easy counterplay. You can also see the tip coming out there from Ducalis, kind of like, what are you guys doing? No, he was unimpressed with Liquid's choice to run that one down,
to say the least. And of course, Mickey and Insania not really able to take full advantage of DM being alone in the lane during that time. I think Class makes his way over again to the south. What else he can work up here on? I mean, what do you buy on support Slark?
That's what's the beautiful thing about this hero is I think you can in theory buy almost anything in addition to Shard. So with the start that he's having, I like the treads. I think it's fine. It's going to give him a bit of farm efficiency with tread switching. It's going to give him better trading in fights. But then you're going to get Shard, and then you can buy everything from drums to Yule's Hex. We've seen him buy Yule's Hex in the game this tournament. I think something like, say, drums, and even, I mean, if you want to go that direction, you could even get something like Pipe or Solar Crest for your teammates. The main way you play your hero is you're a vision bot running around fights, and then your Shard is super annoying, and you're hard to map control against Bryle.
Bryle pounces there. Wukong's command, because no one is level 6 here. Under the cover is Tier 1 tower. Insania is here. Looking at applied. His 9-class will die, but first goes down poor Bryle. Another death to his name, but no one in the meantime will get run down eventually by Insania. And while this is happening, Satanic taking advantage over Saberlight. And the net himself his first kill.
That was such a big diabolic edict on death there from Bryle, allowing Insania to get that kill and effectively get himself into the game. Now 7 minutes are coming up. Looks to be an even trade here. Let's see if DM will be the one to take the nope, he won't. He's going to give it to 9-class. They're prioritizing getting both supports the experience here. It will be the same for Liquid with Boxy taking that. So relatively even, but looks like Parivision with the slightly better start at the very least. And that's a good sign when you're playing this laning Slark, you know? This is when the hero is arguably, and a lot of the times, at its weakest.
Yeah.
In this very early laning stage. So if you float this, Sand has the same net worth as Beastmaster. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is a hero. I feel like if they get dominated lanes, he's not going to provide too much throughout the game, but for Parivision, so far, so good.
9-class realizes here, he knows he's on a trap because of the Barracuda region fading, so he's going to not do the gate move. And now he'll get the trap, all right. It doesn't feel the greatest, I guess, using a sentry to remove this trap, but you want to have zone control down here so you have the freedom of movement, making that cross play possible in both directions. Gonna connect here onto Mickey.
Yeah,
he's not gonna win this fight, so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Get the hell out of there.
2-level advantage. He's gonna be greeted by Insania on the high ground right now. DM. He's greeted by Bryle in turn. 9-class looks to be going out for one more right click as the Wukong's command comes down to the other side. DM does get up his epicenter, but dies shortly after. Just like that is 2 kills for Liquid. No one ends up kind of wasting his ult, although I actually want to stay here. Boxy makes his way to the other side of the ring. Gonna power shot, that's a double kill. That is the execution power shot as Ducalis will drop as well. So a 3-for-1. Only Insania losing his life here for Liquid.
Very aggressive support plays here coming out from Parivision. Being punished.
A tithe to the impurity.
Still, if this remains the status quo, this will be a very big Phantom Assassin. So I wonder if Liquid are going to try to actually do something about this top lane at all. We haven't seen them take much initiative of, let's say, bringing Leshrac top for a play and taking advantage of the roar, or doing a double support smoke or anything of the likes. Maybe it's just too difficult right now. Their supporting cast doesn't exactly have the most damage between Windranger and Elder Titan at this point in the game before they get their ult. So it's, in order to kill the PA, you actually kind of have to bring a core together with Beastmaster, and the lanes and the vision that Slark is giving right now seems to be a little bit of a thorn in their side for the time being.
9-class.
The questions of the panel, by the way. He would go with Deso. No Mjolnir.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, standard.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to see the Mjolnir. He did kind of...
When you're playing support Slark, 10 minutes in, what level do you want to be? He's level 4 right now.
As high as possible.
Okay, that's a terrible answer. That's a Cinderin answer,
Dumb question.
Yeah, all right, that was a Sunfang question and a Cinderin answer.
Phrase it better, I'll answer it.
Okay, we're just going to forget that ever happened. There's a lot of ancient stacks here for
Slark's
Saberlight
level
to
5
take.
at minute 10. That's pretty all right. He would like to be level 6, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But, I mean, level 6 is kind of the dream almost, because this hero has a hard time getting experience. But 5's all right. I think this is par for the course for 9 class. This isn't a hero that needs to absolutely destroy and snowball like crazy in the early game. And also, keep in mind, one of what you saw right now is kind of the luxury of Slark in terms of getting experience. He's the best D-warding here in the entire game.
Yep.
And wards give a lot of experience. So it's kind of deceptive just how much he can get around the map as long as he runs the right paths. Even without killing anything except wards, he could find himself half a level here and there.
I would argue his value has gone up with this new map as it got bigger.
Yeah,
because it's so much harder to ward with all these. I mean, there's like only a couple cliffs in the game at this point.
And it's harder to catch him and set traps too.
Yeah.
So, definitely.
Definitely seeing some innovation. Not being able to watch people replay really helped the game, Cinderin. Of course, it's only been a couple weeks.
Love people jumping to conclusions after 3 days. I think it's good.
Yeah, that's what we do in America. Get used to it.
Okay.
9 class still not quite level 6. Actually, this wave should give it to him though. See a rotation coming from Liquid. Yeah, now the Shadow Dance at the ready.
It's actually unfortunate timing. They were kind of planning a play, it looked like, with Wind Ranger and ET. Yeah, now on the
mid lane. Yeah, the rotation from Liquid ends up not working in their favor. They lose Bryle again. That is his 3rd death.
He's about to lose his tower as well. Slark is kind of boxing them out. Boxy used his ulti on him. He's just kiting him. Oh, he even found another ward.
Yeah.
Delicious.
He is all over the place, this Slark. Well done from 9 class so far. Feels like a lot of his value is already paid off in this game. And it's just and it's a hero that scales really well.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the phase when Boboka was playing position 4 Monkey King.
Ooh, Shackle does hit. Echo Stomp going to be dodged here from Noah. Nice miss. He's going to use the Wukong's command as DM on the outskirts just, yeah, they're just going to run away.
Zoning ult.
Your 1 tower does survive, though, for Liquid. Sorry, you were saying, Cinderin.
No, I was just saying, if you remember when the whole courier hunting position 4 Monkey King was a thing, that was also something that kind of only 1 player and 1 team did at all, that entire tournament, and then it started getting banned because nobody could be bothered to deal with it and they couldn't learn it themselves. 9 class is kind of in a similar position here with the support Slark, so it's pretty cool to see. It's a similar logic too, right? The way those heroes work. It's like moving around the map, uncontested, looking for vision, killing couriers, being annoying, getting information, and not needing too much. You can see we were talking about his itemization. 9 class is looking at a Yule's angle.
All right, well,
That's a
Liquid
dead
finds Jakiro, yeah. It is an Atos for Bryle, helping set that up, but the Primal Roar was also used. On the other side, though, Satanic does have Battle Fury. Pretty damn good timing. Got about 45 seconds ago. And this with the treads as well. He is, I mean, this is obviously one of the scariest heroes going into late game. If he gets off to this good of a start, give him a few more minutes and he can start fighting.
The hero matchup against TA is interesting too. Because PA is a lot about the 1-2-3 shot burst, and TA can block a ton of that with refraction.
Satanic. Okay, he's actually going to get caught off here. Do they have the damage? Focus Fire is there. TP's coming. Nice Phantom Strike. He's just on the outskirts. Also, the missed power shot, and now they're going to turn this around. Parivision on top of Bryle. So close yet so far. Another death for him. And Boxy still trying to snipe people out with that power shot, but he's going to be surrounded and taken out as well. So Parivision on top of that little engagement there.
Oh, that's a really expensive power shot miss. Because not only would they have killed Satanic, it could have potentially also saved one of their lives, because Satanic was able to turn around and go for a little bit of Stifling Dagger slow, and they couldn't really stand their ground either. So, big moment there with the turnaround, and more so than anything, Bryle really needed that kill. His game is, he's lowest net worth out of all the cores. And yeah, I mean, would you look at the net worth in general, Slark, just how much he's dwarfing everyone by in the support role.
Yep.
38 CS, obviously this hero can jungle quite effectively as long as you have mana. And by going the Yule build, as well as having a mana draft, Nicholas can farm quite a lot while getting information.
They're gonna get slowed, gonna get ice path, and going to get killed. Gets off the roar, but really to no avail. The Earth Splitter comes out from the rotation from Insania, but not sure if they can turn this into anything. The Wukong's command is still something they have to walk through. And they just give up right there. So 4K lead already for Parivision.
I feel like there's some history there with that all chat woof.
Oh, I missed that one.
I'm not sure.
Is that a way to call somebody a dog? Because I know that's
mean,
very common.
Honestly,
use of
if
the
there's anything you cannot say, Dota has very, very creative flaming. Obviously, hometown hero Quinn will be on tomorrow.
Oh yeah, he has the best.
And he, honestly, probably if you ever are looking for any sort of vocabulary, person to talk to, walking thesaurus, but doesn't necessarily give you the words you want.
Right, it's
Gives you
good
the
for
words you
flaming.
didn't know existed.
That's fair.
Radiant's been fortified. No, mate, don't waste your time.
Hot tower. Parivision's for the taking here. And this is... Oh, no one's going to go for the Mage Slayer into Radiance. A very, very good item against Templar Assassin, of course. Burn is nice. The miss...
Is this actually going to be a Tormentor? Because it might be a trade for the Roche as well.
Yeah,
the Liquid in the pit.
Yeah, they'll just flat out trade this out.
Both teams reading each other. Both have pretty good fights in the pit. As DM will get the shard. Wait, what? Did Slark already buy his or something? Yeah. Okay, so Death Shroud's already online. And yeah, they get a freebie onto the Sand King.
It's one of those things where technically because they kill the Tormentor at 16, maybe 9 class could have waited. And then if he doesn't get it, he reserves the gold and then buys it.
Yeah.
But this way, you want that Slark shard no matter what. So now you can just get it on another hero for free instead.
Uh-oh, no one.
He got the jump on.
Oh, they actually shot him off of a tree. Ducalis in the meantime ready to go with the Ice Path, but this is just too much damage for no one to take. So greedy for that rune and punished.
Did he just shackle shot this Slark on the high ground to the Monkey King by chance? He was coming in for the Depth Shroud with the save, and he was stunned off to the right. What a sick angle.
Yeah, that would have been a good save. No
And it
doubt
might have
about
just worked. Like, you're going to see the replay here. So look, 9 classes off on the right here. Is this just chance? Honestly, that just looks like chance. But maybe he had the foresight. He saw 9 class coming that way, obviously.
Just bypass an entire forest of trees, lock onto a Slark. That is pretty damn good skill right there, is Bryle. Leading the way right now, has the Aegis. This will give him a little bit of leeway in terms of these fights, and obviously one of the best Aegis carriers in the entire game.
One of the few heroes that even does something when it dies with Aegis if you have Edict running, right?
Yep, that's true.
So, even do something a bit during your respawn.
And Mickey has the blink. Dragonlance will be going for the... It looks like MKB. Oh, is this a BKB coming on right now? Or is that a Deso?
It's a Deso.
Okay.
I'm a little bit worried for Mickey in this game. He's played Deathless so far, which is obviously quite impressive for this type of game, but if he doesn't get a BKB in the mid game, I think it just takes one minor misstep and he's just gone. Yeah. Like, the amount of overwhelming damage the Dire lineup has and the amount of control it has, if you at any point get caught by a Monkey King stun into Ice Path and Epicenter, or if, they can use all those 3 abilities in any order. TA kind of, you don't have to come as close as you used to like 5 years ago on TA because you have ridiculous attack range by now, but you still need to be somewhat in proximity of risk.
All right, Death Shroud for 9 class, and he can just pounce away. Man, what an annoying ass hero. He gets Power Shot though. And they do have Echo Stomp technically. He's gonna sidestep though.
He still has Death Shroud.
Boxy, trying to chase with the Wind Run. Into the nighttime he goes. Looks like 9 class will survive.
So here's the problem with this Slark support is like, damn it if you do, damn it if you don't, right? If you don't run it down, you have no map control. But if you do, you can easily fail.
Yeah.
And you're just wasting so much time. It's kind of bringing me back to, if you remember Ad Finum's run at the, was it Boston Major, I think?
Yep.
Where maybe next time was playing Ricky and Bounty Hunter and just killing couriers and wards all game. And teams were trying to catch him, and they would kill him once or twice every game, but it took so long, and they used so many resources, and his teammates were just free farming. And then they would just win mid-late game on fighting.
Now Boxy, he really wants this Slark kill. Brian's going to come from the other side as well. The Atos is there. And you see the Diabolic Edict doing a lot, along with the Pulse Nova. Cannot hide from that damage. They finally take out this annoying-ass Slark.
There's that
like
Leshrac pick. Countered that 4 position real hard in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing you brought up that is, I mean, maybe that's a bad thing that you're
maybe it's necessary, like
possibly.
It seems like something, I think that honestly played a pretty big part in Liquid's choice of this hero over anything else. Because keep in mind, we saw the stats. Leshrac has been picked one singular time this tournament and it lost. So it's by no means a meta hero. But of course, if you have a player who's a specialist and you identify that this aspect of the game is going to be a big problem, you want to try to solve that Slark however you can. And Even if it's going to take you a mid lane pick, that justifies a first pick 4 position, right? That's how much it's going to take.
Relatively big power spike for Parivision. Satanic finished his BKB about a minute or minute and a half ago.
Yep.
Now an Aghanim Scepter for DM. So lots of damage.
Yeah.
And obviously they're going to want to fight here. No one, though, does have a lot of dead net worth on his hero at the moment. 3K
True.
in the bank. Looks like he's going for Radiance. Probably be taking that apart at some point, but that would be another enormous power spike not that far away for Parivision. His boxing is going to get caught off guard and destroyed. No one will claim
illusion rune.
It happened.
That's rough. But in his defense, it was a smoked illusion rune, so he couldn't see it.
True.
No one didn't buy the Sacred Relic. Oh, he's going to buy it from his own secret. Okay, whatever. Minor mistake. He was next to the other one, but he's going to send it up.
Minor mistake.
Missing the final component for his Radiance. Interesting to see the network distribution. I feel like this happens quite a lot, apparently. Oh, hang on.
That is quite the ice path, but unfortunately, if you call us, nobody else is around him, so he will drop.
I find that we've seen in a lot of games this tournament where the mids have the lowest net worth among the cores. Now, obviously, Saberlight has been having a rough one here, but you can see even Monkey King, no one was having a pretty good start, and he's still, now he's even with the Lesh, but they're still behind the Sand King, the PA, the TA by a decent amount.
Well, the Radiance will help with that quite a bit.
It will. It's to get there, though. Wisdom time. Okay, well, Boxy's on top of it. He's done his algebra. Parivision will go there when they feel like it. Maybe Satanic takes it and gets level 18. That would be a pretty strong spike together with his Sanjin Yacha.
You think Liquid got enough out of the Age? Obviously, it's good to have it in terms of the trade with the Tormentor, but didn't really use it to full effect.
I don't think they could have got much more is the thing. I think it's very difficult for them to just show up at a tower and push against the lineup that they're facing. Slark, Monkey King, and Sand King are very annoying heroes to get flanked by.
Well, as they stop, yeah, he's going to get deleted.
That seems to be a constant. Mickey's happy to get some Desolator stacks.
True.
That's nice. And now he has, for the first time in the game, almost caught up to Satanic on the TA.
And he, like we said, going for the MKB, not that far away from it at the moment. Obviously going to be used in full effect versus the PA, but it'll also be pretty good against the Radiance while it is a Radiance. Satanic, pretty much the cookie cutter build that we've been seeing the last couple months, with the SNY being the third.
Yeah, against old Refraction, you would probably buy Manta this game. But yeah, that spell's been changed, so. New times call for new solutions.
Roar is very scary as well, so status is pretty damn good. As Saberlight's gonna get off the Roar himself, and DM just dies 1v1. So that was a lot of damage.
Oh.
Now, you're talking about Saberlight not getting off to the best of starts. Well, that is certainly a nice injection.
Yeah, he not only gets the kill, but he can afford his next hero relic now. All those shards that don't work.
Yeah.
9 class.
He's in a bit of trouble. Will be using the Death Shroud and gonna sidestep at Power Shot.
He has 3 saves. His Yule's Death Shroud and ult, and he had to use all of them. But again, Liquid are just wasting their time. Big beneficiary is Satanic, who has still, I feel like, not encountered an enemy hero for 15 minutes.
And it's been, I don't think I've
haven't seen him take damage.
He hasn't crit an enemy hero this game, I believe.
I wonder what his hero damage in total is like. It's probably laning stage and nothing else. Right? He's 2-0-1. Those were the kills in lane, right?
Yeah, they were.
And then the one gank they tried on him top that failed.
Here's the damage dealt. Lowest on his team. Make sure to report your carries that have the lowest damage in the game. Without context, of course.
Yeah.
Now we have a smoke from Parivision. Bryle no longer has the Aegis. DM ready to go. Gets off the Burrow Strike. Epicenter to follow. As Ducalis and no one show up as well. The stun locks the damage. Too much for Bryle to handle. That was a lot of spells, though, from Parivision.
It's a big kill. It's fine.
It is.
This is something that is going to be a problem for Liquid pretty much for the entire game. They do not have any sort of save. The closest that they have is an ET Stomp, but it takes time and you need to, be very well positioned and the enemy team can counterplay it. The other one would be Gale Force, which I have to say I'm a little bit surprised to see Boxy not buying that or putting it in his quick buy, because you're playing against triple melee core and a Slark. It feels like Gale Force should, in theory, be really, really good this game.
Yeah.
Maybe it is his next item and he's just not bought it yet, but I think it would be a mistake not grabbing it.
Oh, Sandstorm just in time. And now Saberlight. Well, he's going to use Ghost Scepter to stay alive a little bit longer, but it's not to be. Now he gets counter-tipped. As Parivision sporting the 6K network lead at the moment.
And DM says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't fool me again.
Yeah, that's how the saying goes.
Yeah.
The next Roche won't know about it for a little bit now. Hawk, I guess. No one's going to show himself, but he's been very, very careful. That's the shield rune, but it will be dissipating shortly. Looks like BKB is next on his list.
Looking
vision
for no
here.
one. He might find him.
Oh,
he found him.
The Astral Step, did he notice?
He definitely did.
Okay.
But
Not going to go for it as Ducalis and 9 class have now shown up. Pounce into Yules from a support Slark, mind you. Burrow strike to follow inside the Sandstorm, but that's a big ET ult coming out. No one with the counter ult of his own as Mickey getting dropped by the PA. The roar too late from Saberlight, and as Satanic can focus on the rest of the lineup here from Liquid. Second kill in this fight for him. And the chase is on. Another Burrow strike from DM. Triple kill for Satanic. Is he done? Looks like they finally find the distance on the Liquid side to fully retreat. But just like that, it's a 9K lead for Parivision. Full control of this game.
I think that was the perfect showcase of the TA conundrum in this game, right? If you get jumped at any point, your fight's over.
Yeah.
Like, you actually cannot be the target a single time. They tried to save him the best they could with a Force Staff and repositioning him, but he loses his refraction and he's just going to get eaten alive by Satanic. He knows exactly what his job is in that fight, pops everything, just tunnel visions Mickey until he's dead. And this is the price you pay when you feel like you have to buy MKB to even stand a chance at killing the PA. It's a good offensive item, but when you're on the receiving end, it's not going to work. And here's the big question. How are you going to be on offense when the enemy team has superior vision the entire game because of Slark?
Yeah.
They're just not managing to find the correct attack angles to this hero. And you can see now 9 class, he's already being ambitious, queuing up his next big item. It's going to be the Scythe of Vice, so it will be the Yule's Hex build. This pesky little fish. Satanic buys his namesake.
Yes, indeed. Oh, the roar! Oh no! Saberlight uses his ult, instantly dispelled from 9 class. He's going to use his Ghost Scepter, taking extra damage, but they're actually going to find the potential connection on the Satanic. But again, the save coming out from Slark. Burrow starting to follow. Bryle is in no man's land. We'll pop the Bloodstone. They'll sidestep a little bit as 9 class taking a lot of damage. We'll get to the other side of the river. We'll sidestep another power shot. And just like that, nobody dies, Cinderin.
Plays his own voice line. Who wants a slap?
And now we can all breathe.
Oh. Everybody calm down.
All exhale. Get our
All right.
CPAP machines hooked up. Make sure we get some good
All right.
breathing going
Need
here.
a little bit of a rodent expert. We've got a mouse in the Parivision booth. They got rid of it already. That was quick.
They have some fearsome players. If they can scare a bear, I don't know if that content piece has gone out yet, but I think
It has.
they surely can scare a mouse. Yeah, definitely in the driver's seat is Parivision. So Liquid side, like, if you were the captain of their team, other than just being the worst captain in esports, what would you tell them?
Thank you so much.
What would you tell them to get back in this game?
I'm not listening anymore.
All right, I take that back, Syndra.
What did you take back?
Breathing. Unpause.
Oh boy,
It's a bit of a stalemate. Or Roche.
Well, what
Okay,
does
so
Liquid
it's
have
up.
to do? I honestly think they have to buy time for Mickey's BKB. Because I think it's borderline. It's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult to get the right fighting conditions for him.
That was like a 4-man silence on that track. Pretty
Yep.
disgusting. They're still smoked up though. Ice Path is avoided. See? Be in some trouble here. He's going to get Boundless Strength. They're using Wukong's command just for him, knowing if they just get one, Roche is probably there. Although it might be a trade. That is a lot of damage from Mickey. Deletes DM. So 1-for-1, but not the way that Parivision wanted that to go.
Yeah, 9 class didn't think there was going to be a counterplay, so he was not close enough for the depth route to save DM. A nice find for Mickey there. Pretty impressive to make that read on the situation that you can even attempt a counterplay. Well, really well done. So, as you said, good control here for Parivision. Sand King will respawn around the same time as Windranger, and they will try to maintain the overall Roche control. There's a minute and a half until he's going to go for a little walk. Not sure if they even... I think from Parivision's perspective, it's actually not that important that they get Roche. They just want Liquid to not. They just keep controlling the area. They don't have the best Roshing lineup. Obviously, PA can can do it quite well. I think they would rather just play the map. Like
I mean,
guessing.
especially with the Roche being in the pit, Elder Titan got even better.
Yeah.
I mean, Astral Spirit is still one of the best spells to have in this 360-degree area.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is the risk reward. Like, let's say you even can pull it off relatively easily. Is it worth it if that's the only avenue back in the game for Liquid? Is to find that type of opportunity.
It does feel like you need the pickoffs. Achieves that pretty safely. Is no one.
Nice find.
Yeah, full smoke from Liquid.
Liquid
Tree gets away just in time, and now the counter initiation onto Saberlight. Ghost Scepter will only save him for so far. Actually uses the Primal Roar, but will be chased down eventually. Can they get more is the question. Bryle now caught off next. Burrow Strike connects. He's dead. Double kill for Satanic. This PA is getting out of control. 7-0 at the moment for Satanic.
And this is good enough for Roche, but Parivision are trying to find a tertiary kill here. Obviously one of the most mobile heroes in all of Dota, the Monkey King.
Yeah, Boundless Strike uses Shard to get up into melee range. Mickey is there trying to support his teammate. No one does go down to Mickey, but they get the kill they came for. DM with the epicenter now on top of Mickey. Has to sidestep it to the side of the trees. Get some vision. Collis, nice ice path, but no follow-up from Parivision. Did they bite up too much? The buyback, though, from Boxy. They want to turn this around.
Yeah, DM with the stun kill secure on Boxy might have been a mistake. Instead of stunning off Mickey there, to perhaps saved his ally, but wanted to make sure they got the kill they came for, and they did.
Cost them quite a bit, though.
He just dropped the gem. Was that a Radiant gem? Is that why he was so focused on killing Boxy? It might have been Liquid's gem that they stole there.
Okay.
I think so. That would be a pretty big find if that was the case. 13k lead would indicate that that is indeed a stolen gem.
So Liquid have 3 Ghost Scepters, by the way, and guess who is buying a Nullifier? Satanic is about 300 away from finishing that.
He doesn't have it.
Very, very close.
Oh.
And there's basically, at that point, there's basically no counter. I mean, you have, I guess there's no Yules on their side, but even the Hurricane Pike can be countered to some degree with that.
Yeah. The only really good counters right now that there are to Nullifier are BKB and Shadowblade, right? And
Lincoln's, I guess.
Yeah,
kind of.
But against PA, like she's gonna break it somehow, right?
Lincoln's feels like it's mostly a dead item.
Yeah, kind of hard to run. I think so far this tournament we've cast 1 game with 1 Lincoln's.
Yeah, I forget even who had it. This one. But either way, I mean, 3 Ghost Scepters, 2 Force Staffs essentially. I mean, the Nullifier is gonna have quite a big impact.
He's in the luxurious position that I think he's strong enough and far enough ahead of the TA that he can pick his target. The only thing that's truly dangerous for Satanic is the Roar, but if he can count on 9 class, he's still going to get saved anyway. So, very, very difficult here for Liquid. You have to try to find a smart angle. I guess the ideal kill, honestly, is the Slark. If you can kill him first and then the fight develops, you take the save out of the play, perhaps get a little bit more options to play on angles because of the reduced vision, especially at nighttime. Speaking of the devil, we'll walk into potential trouble.
Yeah, he's gonna get gone on, but has the Dark Pact pounce. I want to go back in as the Burrow Strike comes in for DM. Balance Strike does clip Bryle as no one pops the BKB and the Wukong's command, but nobody's inside of it.
Oh.
A little bit premature from O1 and 3-shot. Deleted from the map, Boxy with the power shot, and now they're gonna try to turn this around even more. But there's the buyback now for 9 class. They have to be careful for Liquid. Crazy ult hits one, Saberlight with the roar onto the Monkey King. Down goes no one, and DM has to pop the BKB in retreat. 9 class does show up eventually. Burrow Strike onto 2 heroes. Saberlight is dead. Mickey very close to being so as well. Gets crit to the ground. Triple kill from Satanic. They find 4 kills in the blink of an eye. Parivision, it cost them 2 buybacks. That feels like a very, very powerful fight for them.
That's such a mixed bag. The way that started for Parivision was...
What is this all chat? What is it? Is he talking in the first person or is he talking about the item now, you know? So weird.
That's his eye, Satanic. Well, what a mixed bag. I think the way that started out was not, I mean, no one completely whipped his ulti and just kind of forced that fight, and it didn't look good for Parivision, and then Liquid very understandably choose to chase that down. What a heads-up play call to go for the counterplay with the buybacks there, and then PA can just do all the necessary damage. So this first off, 9 class kind of in the middle of nowhere first to begin this after the Wukong's command. They get a nice stomp into the splitter here onto the Jakiro, the roar on the correct target. This looks clean. It looks like the fight's just over. So Liquid want more. And then this turnaround play, beautiful 2-hero stun, and Satanic obviously.
You can't stop Satanic.
You can't beat Satanic. You just can't.
Triple kill. Didn't quite get the 4th himself, but damage was done. 13k lead now for Parivision. And of course, we saw on the screen Roshan in them as well. They have the Aegis, they have the Roche's banner. These are just going to get more powerful as we go on.
Satanic gets his level 25 off of that.
Oh.
So -1 attack to trigger Kurkas, which is a very big DPS increase, and also it's such an insane talent for PA because not only just if you're stacking stacking attacks on a target, you're gonna crit more frequently, but it also makes your burst sprees so much quicker in essence, so that when you're trying to assassinate a support, it's gonna take you that half a second or a second less.
Yeah.
And it just, those seconds start really mattering when BKBs drop lower. So a very, very strong talent indeed.
Are they ready to go high ground is the question. It's against a few very annoying heroes. And do they have the Gale Force yet? No. I'm also very
just doesn't want to buy it. I don't know. Am I missing something? Isn't that really good? I feel like it should be very good.
Oh, Saberlight gonna get some help. Doesn't need it actually. Just destroys 9 class. A nice pick off for him.
He's dead forever. That was a buyback.
Yeah,
so 90 seconds, 5v4. Maybe now Liquid can go for a smoke and get some map control. Finally, with this dead Slark.
What is Gem doing there? Just randomly found in camp. Okay.
That was actually a double impact kill onto the Slark. He was 200 gold away from Hex. So they delay that as well. Liquid obviously doesn't know that for a fact.
Call it. Nice. They find him.
He's actually going to survive if he TPs here. I just stand. All right. They didn't want to chase. So. Respecting the counterplay of Parivision despite it being 5v4.
I'm surprised that they still want to fight here despite not having their Slark, but they are definitely grouping up.
I guess PA is worth 2.5 heroes, so you are outnumbering Liquid. Their Aegis and probably 28,000 net worth carry.
She is quite strong.
Yeah, almost has Abyssal.
And Abyssal, I assume, will replace the Treads?
Treads first and then replace Battle Fury later. Yeah, probably.
Saberlight, oh, he jumps in. Want to find a connection. Satanic goes in by himself, gets roared. Really has the damage to get through him one time. They do. Has the second life, as we've talked about, in the BKB being put back into his inventory. He's going to get silenced. He's only at half HP. He's going to get deleted. No PA for this fight. Has the buyback. So it's going to cost them Saberlight at the very least. But that's already 2 dead from Parivision. As DM taken out by Mickey. No one all alone inside his Wukong's command. No armor is going to save you from this damage from Mickey. As Liquid take a huge fight to get them back into this game.
You should have never said you can't beat Satanic. If there's one thing Liquid will power up from, it's people thinking they can't beat you.
Does no one learn? Not no one the player, but just in general.
Have you not studied Liquid history?
Chance come out.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of a crazy situation, right? He has the BKB in the backpack, and he's going to lose his Aegis and swap it in, but obviously it has the 6-second activation time, and the 3-second respawn is not enough. They chain the silences and the stuns beautifully, and he gets absolutely nothing off on either life. Yeah. That's the face of an excited
That is the face of a psychopath, if I'm not mistaken. Mickey, he's going to get used. Next to the tier 3 tower, he's going to go real deep for the 9 class kill. Won't find it though. Now the focus fire from Boxy. They will get this tier 3. The only buyback right now is for Satanic, and I think they just have to give this up. So despite having such a massive lead, this has basically been equalized, if not just going in Liquid's favor now with the full lane of racks.
They just flat out seize a massive moment of opportunity, right? Slark's dead for 90 seconds. Liquid realize, all right, we're outnumbering. We can go for something. And they find literally the perfect play on the map as Satanic alone gets killed once and can't get the BKB off on the second life. The hero that would usually protect you from that is the exact hero that was dead. So that's why this play is possible, and Liquid with a really clutch play call recognizing that those conditions are met. They pull off more or less the perfect play to get themselves into, I want to say, an even position now in this game, which I feel like I have not seen them even close by for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, one fight changes everything, no doubt about that.
Dota. Big pressure, big mistakes, and big plays.
That's the base right there. Oh man, let's go back to Beastmaster real quick. I like the base. There we go. Man, I can just feel that in my bones. Feel the arthritis building up, man. Getting old's great. Saberlight doesn't have to worry about that though. He is a Chad indeed. Oh my God! All right, well, Congregations of the Deep, a little bit stronger than Saberlight. Something to look forward to in life. So Satanic, I mean,
no idea what that means.
Literally nothing matters what I say. Just remember that.
Okay.
So he needs to hold on to buyback for Satanic, especially after a fight like that. You lose your buildings real fast.
They need to, I think Parivision now that they've been punished for it once, they need to make sure that 9 class and Satanic are within reach of each other, and that 9 class does not get jumped first. If you're going to avoid that, I still think the game position for Parivision is quite good, but Liquid obviously are going to feel quite motivated after the way that last fight went out. Like, if you can set up any sort of team fights in a similar fashion, it doesn't even need to be as clutch anymore because there's no ages this time. You could set up a trap perhaps with the TA getting vision in the right spots, maybe a little bit of a smoke. You've got the ET scouting. And of course, we will see the debut of Gale Force. This could play a pretty big role when BKBs expire.
Yeah, we've been hyping this up, and
yeah,
we'll see if it's good. It does sound very good this game against Depth Shroud and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mickey, basically the same net worth at this point of Satanic, and Lincoln's is next on the menu for him.
Smoke spot for both teams, expecting potential game-deciding fight within the next few minutes. They're both preparing for it. Roshan's early respawn is in a minute. Don't remember when the Tormentor was killed, no way to know.
And one day we'll get that into the game.
We'll have it eventually, I'm sure. Oh, that Tormentor is particularly important anymore now. Like, when you get this late into the game, the Tormentor a lot of the times honestly just a bait.
Yep. Well, that's a pretty big power spike for Parivision. Both Shiva's and Manta now online. Satanic gonna show himself up front. Shackle shot, 82 overall, but the Depth Shroud is there. The ET ult's gonna miss because of the Gale Force, actually. Satanic pops the BKB and turns this around onto Mickey and company. Gets forced out for the high ground, though, as the Saberlight's trying to tank it for his team. Lots of damage for Mickey on the high ground as Saberlight trying to fight this out. He's gonna be first to death, but it's gonna cost 2 Parivision lives. Shackle shot is there, but Clara getting really low. Healing up thanks to the blow, so that's 4 dead for Parivision already. It's just the PA, 1 versus 4. Satanic is dead.
Oh my God.
Triple kill for Mickey. They only lose 1 somehow, and I think they can actually finish this. There's only 1 buyback on the side of Parivision, and now the tips come out. They're running out of them at this point. Last fortification likely for the game in this best of 3. A little bit of creep wave.
Insane setup. Parivision baited that perfectly the way they wanted.
Yeah.
They immediately get Depth Shroud onto the ward PA, but Mickey was able to be kited out by, I think, 2 different Force Staffs on 5% health.
Oh, they're going to try to go on top. Buyback coming out from Saberlight, but PA's already used her. He's already dead. It was a 1v4, essentially, and that's GG. Liquid take game number 1. That was quite the turnaround, I have to say.
It's gonna feel so good. You go into your first game of this best of 3, you're behind for the majority of the game against Parivision's undefeated support Slark. You're feeling the pressure, you have very little map control.